Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with episode 19 of Macross 7. How about you go ahead and tell us what happened last time?
Last time was a fallen little devil. The enemy, again, we don't know what their name is, um, plans a new attack under the command of Sybil, who still doesn't need a fight or anything like that. She just literally just roll like this on top of one of them. Like, yeah, I'm not going to tire myself too much. They fold in. Also, probably pays a lie to the fact that, well, I don't know. Let's put a question on whether she can actually do folding herself or not. Um, so there's a space battle. But not before Gimli goes to a concert. Gimli is continues to investigate where my thing is.
Wait. Are we talking about Lord of the Rings?
No,
Why are you talking about Gimli?
gambling.
You know, you don't toss a dwarf.
Gambling. We started the episode with the gambling, waking up from a dream, where he heroically kicks enemy Batroid to save Mylene from it, while Basara is just sleeping somewhere, being useless as always. And when they hug, and maybe when they're about to kiss, he wakes up. Although it doesn't really seem like that he was gonna kiss her, just he was hugging her.
Yeah,
But
just
he's
here
been a
you
little,
mentioned two things already. I feel like this episode kind of was like an homage to Gynax.
a little bit.
You get the gunbuster pose that she comes riding in with when she's
Hmm.
standing on top of the thing. And that kick was really reminiscent of the Gynax kick.
Also, he seems to be in some kind of jet cycle, like out of the Flash Gordon 1980 movie.
Yeah, yeah, the one that they ride when they're being backed up by oh god, what's his name?
The Hawkman,
Yeah, Brian Blessed.
Brian Blessed. To me, my Hawkman. I mean, if I actually try to do it like Brian Blessed, I'd probably blow out my mic. So
I'll get you'd also peak on the scale. So
yeah. Um, and so yeah, he saves the day, wakes up, like, oh. So he goes out to Mylene's apartment, where the band is, uh, where we find out Basara and Roy are working on the music, and Roy's explaining, yeah, that music did something to that guy, so I'm trying to understand it. It's like Basara, oh, okay, I'm gonna take a break, and he leaves, and he comes, Gamblin, who doesn't see him, they don't cross paths. It's like, oh, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh yeah, I'm like, studying this and that. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds like Dr. Sheba, a military doctor. And we see a flashback of him being tortured by this music it plays in his ears. And I was like, oh no, oh yeah, sure. Uh, and so they're talking about it, and it's like, oh, Ray says, oh, I'm sure I'd like to meet him one day, mostly because he's a military doctor that happens to be in Battle 7, and Ray is stuck in City 7. So they have never met, or they don't have the ability to meet and communicate right now. Either way, it doesn't, it's that, that's the truth of that statement. So they talk a little bit about, what Ray's trying to do with the music and all that, which is connected to the soldier that got captured and the effects of the music. Well, again, the enemy attacks. Basara goes out. People are seeing it on TV. Mylene tries to also go out on her mother's Valkyrie, but Gambling, who's following him, says, "No, I'll take it. I'm an unlead pilot." And she's like, "Okay, sure. I'll let you do it." Which is, we didn't have that girl power moment as you expect in something like this. Like, "Oh no, but I know how to do it." It's like, "Hey, you're the expert. Sure, why not? I mean, just go and do your thing, right?" Like, which was, it shouldn't be a twist because it's so straightforward. But it's like, oh, no, she's not dumb. Losara is dumb as rocks, but she's not that dumb, even though she's young. And he goes out in the VF1, and we do have a reversal where it's Gamblin getting in the way of Basara because he's shooting down all these guys. Like, no, get out of the way! I want to sing to them, right? Because before that, it was Basara who show up, and they're fighting. It's like, get out of the way! I'm shooting these guys. Like, no, I want to sing. Blah blah blah. And he would ignore Gamblin, right? Like, because he was expecting Mylene to come and to attack because he didn't want Mylene to interfere. And it's like, Mylene, what are you doing? It's like, no, it's me. I'm gonna help you. And it's like, I don't need your help. Get out of the way, right? He's not really, again, Basar's not really doing much of anything. until Sybil shows up and tries to do something, tries to overcome what Basara is doing, but she gets overcome by emotion because of the music and cries and everything. It just flies away. It's like, oh no, this is too much. Ah! But before he does that, she decapitates Milia's classic Valkyrie, VFF1J, I think it is.
With such a
Um,
brutal built-in weakness that if the head is removed, the whole fucking thing explodes.
well, I think she hits it more than once.
No, no, she
Uh,
decapitates it, flies off, and then it starts like micro explosions throughout it.
yeah.
Apparently, they store all the ammo in the head.
And he escapes because he separates the nose cone from the rest of the thing, so he survives, and then gets rescued by the police later on. And then again, Basara is like, "Oh, I tried to use my music, but because the military is not censoring these battles, the media has captured all this, and so people are now cheering for Basara to be their hero, right? Which is something carried over from the last episode, and they even start singing the song, right? Because they were in a concert, so it's like, oh yeah, Basara is saving us, blah blah. But Basara doesn't seem to be happy about it, right? He doesn't want to be a war hero, which is consistent. One of the few things that's really consistent. He doesn't want to be seen as part of the military. He doesn't. He's not doing this for the fighting. He doesn't want to win a war. He wants to bring peace. He's a somewhat militant pacifist, right?
I mean, I would argue that peace would be winning the war.
Yes, but the way he sees it is he doesn't want to fight at all. He wants the fighting to be over and for people to hear his music, right?
I
Right.
mean,
That's how he does. He wants.
that was Ray's message. Ray said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to fight?"
Yeah, but Basara seems to be. I just want people. I just want this. I want everybody to hear my song
Once
and end the
again,
fighting.
anything we take from Basara has to be inference because Basara does not say any of this.
Yeah, he doesn't explain it.
So your
Anything.
motivations for Basara are basically what Ray has been saying. And
Yeah,
again,
because he doesn't say anything.
yeah, and I'm saying Basara is Ray's tool. So I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. Whatever you think Basara is up to is what Ray is up to.
Which again is why I bring say, okay, does Basara have any outside of being a pacifist, which is clearly what he is? Does he have and he wants everybody hears his song? Does he really have anything more to him? I know you don't care, or you think it's going to be revealed eventually, gloriously. I ultimately is like, just get it over with, because it's a big hole
I mean, to be honest, I
that
don't
just
think I'm either of those, but somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's going to be gloriously revealed. Like, it all makes sense now. Basara, I mean, for Basara, I think the show, it'll all make sense. Basara might just be an archetype, you know, just the person who only has the one thing.
pretty
So,
flimsy though.
well, I mean, we know that Ray, after the death of his flight
Yeah.
companion, um,
Wayman, yeah.
yeah, I don't. Was his name Raymond? I don't think it was Raymond. I thought it was Stevenson or something.
No, I say wingman.
Oh,
That's
I think he
the
said
the term for it.
Raymond. Stefan.
Yeah,
His name was Stefan.
Stefan. Yeah.
Sorry, you said Wingman. I heard Raymond, which is my dad's name, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Um,
He showed up in the anime, kicking ass and getting killed. Yeah.
do I have father issues? Now I'm just hearing my dad's name when you're talking about shit. Anyway, hey, Father's Day is coming up tomorrow, isn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know what I was talking about anymore. Oh yeah, Ray. Stefan dies. He immediately goes into this whole thing, and then latches on to some kid that he found, which now has all of his hopes riding on. Because I mean, and then there's so much going on. I'm not going to recap everything here. That was the main thing I was getting at was the fact that Ray latched onto this kid, and we don't know why either. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be. It could be. I said that Max knows about Spiritia, and you instantly negated that on your end. But if Max knows about Spiritia, and I think that implies Ray knows about Spiritia, then it could be that they just found the one kid whose songs and everything affect the meter, right? I think it's implied that Mylene also does, but obviously they didn't have access to the mayor's kid, and Basara just could be the one guy, and it doesn't matter what his attitude is. that they're
Yeah.
using him for the one thing, and it just so happens that Basar is like this kind of person. 'Cause clearly Ray doesn't so much care about the pacifism as much as Basar does, because otherwise he wouldn't load up the guy with missiles just in case.
Yeah.
Even though we're told
Also,
that he is pacifist too.
the only here's the thing. For that to be true, I think we need an extra piece of information, and that is the real purpose of the Macross 7 project.
Well,
Because otherwise, it's like it's so random. Oh yeah, we're preparing for this thing. Could it happen? Oh, I don't know.
well, that's the
Oh yeah,
problem with everything is that every information drop is seemingly random or comes at a random time. It's
yeah,
not even associated with the episodes themselves. Like Operation M came about that the VF-17 needed VF-19 needed a paint job, as it turned out, or Ray and Max meeting in a clandestine meeting just was in the middle of one random episode that they've
second episode.
they've done a thing where it doesn't matter how pointless the episode itself is that every episode contains a little hint of something. So they've made it so no episode is worthless altogether. Every episode has a nugget of information in it.
Well, also what happens is that Sybil falls down toward the Macross 7. I don't know if she does it purposely or she's just kind of knocked out by her emotions.
She seems knocked
Also,
out.
yeah. Also, it seems that she can breathe in space. She's a space vampire, apparently. So she has no problem. So whoever these people are, they're powerful enough to just fly by their own power, knock out dozens of people, destroy ships, and just breathe in space. Because of course, I mean, they're aliens clearly, but still, you know. And it's like, yeah, no, we just. And she sort of falls down, and then she falls into the outer tube of the train that some workers were repairing. And so when they close the tube, or monorail, if you think about it, and they go off, apparently they take her with her,
I don't think they were
or she's in
repairing. I
there.
think they were cleaning the top of the dome.
Yeah, or something like that, and then off they went. So she could be in there or not, or she could just be in the tube, and it's just like she wakes up and it's like, oh, I'm in this tube, and it's just gonna follow the tube, whatever. So that happens as well. But again, now the press have taken advantage, notice of Basara, which happened in the last episode. I didn't mention that in the last episode. And then Eileen is like, "Yeah, you were the hero." And I was like, I don't." The episode
Kick,
closed with him going
kicks a
like,
trash
"I don't
can.
care about that." Yeah, like I don't care.
I think the one thing that's now kind of bugging me a little bit is the whole concept of like evolution. How do creatures like this come to exist that like need to feast on a million people
I
in
mean,
order to
they could be another experiments of the protoculture. Because if they mess with humans and they mess with the Centrati or
God,
create a
what a
Centrati,
fucking
Jose,
imbalance, right? Well, these
yeah.
people died of fucking any little disease. These people fly through space, fold shit around them, you know, eat entire civilizations. That's even, right? That's like Protoss to human, I feel.
I mean, yeah, it's very much StarCraft kind of thing where the progenitors does that too. They go to Protoss, they go to. I don't think they actually mess with the humans. Humans are just their own evolution, but they do
Yeah,
mess with
no,
the
that's
Protoss.
because they come from a very specific sector where they make the
Yeah,
Zerg and the Protoss, and then we
yeah,
come into that.
yeah. Which is one aspect of StarCraft that I do like because it says, yeah, space is so big that you can have this in another part of the galaxy. You have completely different civilization come in and not be related whatsoever what's going on until they show up here.
I mean,
But
it's a common trope in sci-fi that humanity is unique to not know
yeah,
their own origin. There was it the uplift cycle where
yeah.
every species that exists has been uplifted by some other species except for humans. We don't know who uplifted us or if we were even uplifted at
But
all.
well, often they do at some point, like, oh yeah, we interfere, like in Star Trek, like in Halo, and some Halo they screw it up so badly. I don't want to even go there. There's always a point of like, yeah, no, we were there. Just like we didn't tamper as much with you as we did with the other people. Or in the case of seems to be when Macross, they took human DNA and said, oh, we're gonna replicate this with Centrati, right?
One of my favorites which is probably very niche. Frederick Pohl novel series, the Hichi saga, where Hichi are running away from something. They're not exactly sure what it is, but it's been described to them by other lesser civilizations. It's as the thing that's causing the heat death of the universe in the show. Show. It's a book series. I almost said show. So they decide to hide in black holes. They literally just go into black holes and hide, which means that the universe is speeding up around them. We don't even see their point of view until like the third book. But the idea is that they've also like seeded existing life forms in the universe. They've like seeded hints about higher technology in their solar systems for them to
Mhm.
find later on. And we weren't the life in the solar system that they expected to find. Whatever the running gag is, like every civilization that they seeded something for just fucking died for some reason. Like sun went nova or some shit like that. And like we read that in earlier books, like because they it's the main novel in the series is called Gateway. We discover an asteroid around Venus that has a bunch of ships that we can't control. All we can do is turn them on and they go somewhere. So it's a bunch of stories of people who just die in transit. Ships never come back. Ships come back half melted. And the people who are going there trying to get rich off of discovering alien artifacts. And a bunch of the stories are just like little mission reports. Pod came back, everyone dead, filled with spores. You know, shit like that. And then in the third book, you're talking about these places. Well, there were a bunch of avian races and everything like that, but their sun went nova. It's like, oh, I remember the mission report with the thing that came back from a half melted sun. You know, something like that. It really ties together. But again, the idea that we weren't the race that was supposed to thrive from the Hichi point of view. We were just, what the fuck? Where the hell did these people come from?
Yeah,
I'm very bad at talking about the novels that I love. It's
that's okay, no
also
problem.
Frederick Pohl comes from a very weird time in science fiction because it's all about the characters like sexual problems, and half the book is him talking to a robot therapist about the events that happened at the end of the book. Anyway, usually about now is where I go on my rambling fit, and we then go into the show. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah,
All right. You said yeah. What are your final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to see because again we're. Oh, I want to mention is, and I didn't mention this before. They were attempting to fold the ship, and they. I didn't mention that before. We talked about it at length, but now I think this is another thing. We keep going, we're stringing along the City 7 is missing bit. I guess maybe they're eventually City 7 will end up where they need to go, right? By accident. Like, oh, we were so always supposed to go here. Here we are. This is going to be the big confrontation. Like, the aliens are following City 7, the macro the battle 7 macross part of it, and the rest of the fleet is following. And so eventually, because otherwise this is like, oh, we just keep jumping it off so we can just keep having this thing where the military's not there to help, right? That's it, right? You can't depend on the military. We got to put Basara up front and center and be the only hero. That seems the only reason why the City 7 is, is keeps get jumped around so the Basara can be the hero, the lone hero, right?
I mean, the fact that they just randomly established communication with them last episode implies that we no longer need to find floating rocks in the middle of space, which is, thank God for small miracles,
Yeah.
because that was a dumb thing. How do you even know to look for a rock? But yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Now it's time to take Mylene hostage again
I hope not.
for the second time.
Yeah.
You saying I hope not? Like you didn't see the same preview that I watched.
I know. I mean, they try to, but
Well, I mean, now we
it's
get to
like,
get badass Gamlin because Gamlin's running around with a semi-auto. It looks like.
oh, and also it would be third. Well, if we talk about when that guy, the actor, took her to the Love Motel, would that be considered also as attempt kidnapping?
No, because it didn't happen.
I mean, he tried.
Well, no, he got there with her, but she went there consensually. And then when he tried to do something, she tried to leave. So
And that's
nothing.
when he got attacked.
Yeah, so the kidnapping aspect never really happened. Like, if he had gotten her into like a room and then like locked the door, kidnapping, right? If he had if he had a roof on his vehicle, no, he did have a roof on his vehicle. If he had like tried to lock the door on her or grabbed her and restrained her, kidnapping.
He did. He did try to do that.
Again, I don't
It's
remember that, and I didn't go back to watch it because it's not important. We saw him
yeah,
like one episode. He's a bad
that's it.
guy. Don't want to give him more time of day than I've already given him.
That's true. Literally, his name is Guy or Guy.
I thought that was Bobby.
Whoever. It doesn't matter.
God damn you. His name is Bobby. Every time you suggest that I'm wrong, it's just a little bit on a notch on the self-confidence table.
I was wrong. I admit. I thought he was Guy.
Yeah, you said it with such confidence that I was like, God damn it, now I'm going to have to look.
He's a
Anyway.
jackass anyway.
Well, I'm always willing to look at information that's literally just turn my head over here. The board? Okay. I'm not going to look up whole scenes. I'm not willing to go into that depth. Yeah, I say we just go ahead and get into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Not far from halfway, though.
Is episode
About episode 24. It's going to be halfway.
a life-threatening date? Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean that we're like, what, five from halfway? It's a weird metric. It's like, I'm not eager for the show to be over, so I don't know why I'm trying to guess where halfway is. I'm enjoying the ride, and I appreciate that the mystery is still mysterious halfway through, which implies it's more about the mystery than it is anything else. Because once they start like, the mystery's over, start to have action scenes all the time, I don't feel like Macross 7 can rest on action scenes. It's a thing with, like, even Gundam. The Gundam shows that I've watched that are just, like, use all the narrative to get to the fight scenes make the fight scenes less interesting because I know they just exist, just to exist. If nothing narratively changes due to a fight, then the fight was pointless. Which is why, since we're doing the recap again, which is why if somebody doesn't die, even though I don't want people to die, then it doesn't really matter because that doesn't change the narrative in a significant way. Something new has to happen, or someone's relationship has to change for a fight to have any significance. Because these shows aren't like an RTS game or something. Like, we don't lose or gain resources here because we're not even keeping track of them. There we go. It's the name of the system again.
Or out of the system.
Well, we heard it once a long time ago.
Yeah, when they were talking about jumping into the
No, but where the fighter craft come
expedition.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Companions.
So now they explain why they need the spiritual. Although we already knew, but we didn't know how many of them are.
Yeah, narrator's kind of a spoiler.
Sci-fi train station.
Is everyone going to be in a coma? Okay, never mind. It's just the resting place for the trains.
Oh, poor Birdie.
Well, it's new information. We've never seen them do it to animals before. Specifically because there's no fighter jet being piloted by a dog.
Still, poor Birdie, though.
Eh. So I knew she was fine. It was just the frame of just her being hit by a train.
Oh, so that's what she uses to...
Yeah, it's still way more effective than the laser. I almost expected her to Spider-Man it, you know, just stop the train.
ったく、なんだって俺がこんな目に遭わなきゃならないんだよ。
そういうなバサラ、これも仕事だ。
そうは思えない
So
け
I
ど
thought
な。
Akiko was going to be here. Also,
Droopy.
Droopy poster.
yeah.
さて、皆さんお待ちかね、本日の特別ゲスト。今、シティセブンを席巻する話題のヒーロー。
Oh, I thought they were going to be shooting like a music video or something.
おいおい、なんか勘違いしてねえか。まったく。いやー、よくいらっしゃいました。さあさあ、こちらにこちらに、さあどうぞ。皆さんご覧ください。この人が。
Also, they did mention a couple episodes that he is from an unregistered part of the city, and that he himself is an unregistered citizen.
そろそろ始めっか。歌うんだよ。いや、今日はお話だけで結構なんですが。
So this is what it sounds like when he doesn't have the band to accompany him.
やっぱりな、こうなると思ったよ。
Nope, never mind. We just faked vocals him up anyway. The same way that Mylene's vocal backing is herself somehow.
すみません、ミレーヌさん。テレビのお仕事があった。
Is that his school uniform?
I don't think so. The one that she claims to be her school uniform is the one she shows up to the hospital with him for.
あ、はい。
Oh yeah, my mother wants to rip into you real quick. You know that was an antique that you destroyed, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's kind of doing the Spider-Man thing, but on a pole. Ah, we're doing the clueless alien thing.
What the? Is that Bowman?
Oh, she's causing a wave of anger.
Look, I'm being serious. I think that was Bowman.
He lost his job and now he's driving a truck here?
He was a private contractor. Who the fuck knows? He did. Oh, he's dead. Never mind. He's dead.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
あの、ミレーヌ
Maybe he's a sibling or something? Well, they're kind of clones, so it could be a
He
clone. of
fucking.
Bowman.
Nobody looks like fucking Bowman in anything. Like, he kept his art style from Macross Plus.
ママのバルキリーを壊したことなんて大したことないですよ。
そうでしょうか。
あの人もそ
God, that
いや
fucking, fucking threw me. I'm still thinking about Bowman.
一つや二つもう忘れてるかもしれませんよ。たとえあのバルキリーがパパと一緒に出撃した思い出の機体で35年も大切に保管していたとしても。やだ、どうしたのグババ。変な子ね。何をなってんの？
あれは。
Yeah, of course he'd recognize her.
あいつだ。
ガムリンさんどうしたの？
なんでもありません。ミレーヌさんはそこで待っていてください。
Why is he still wearing bandages in his head, though?
Maybe he's still injured.
I mean, true, but we think they got a patch or something if it's just in their forehead or. Right,
I don't
eventually,
know.
you
It's an anime
walking around with
standard.
bandage.
朝からわずか
Yeah.
10時間足らずの間に交通事故、傷害事件、その他諸々の軽犯罪が急増しています。
偶然とは思
So
え
I
ない
guess she
わ
can
ね
project emotions as well as can manipulate them as well.
団と離れたことによる市民たちのフラストレーションが原因だと出ていますが。
私の市民たちがそんなに幼いとは思いたくないわね。とにかくもう一度データを洗い直してください。何か別の原因があるはずだわ。
わかりました。やってみましょう。
Also, that her office is outside the dome. Like in a very early episode, we pointed out there was a building up and out of it.
何を見失ったの？敵？ねえ敵？
あ、いや、なんでもないですよ。
She's so excited to see the enemy.
教えてください。
本当になんでもないですよ。
いいじゃないですか。
Look,
ねえね
you keep lying about Basara. I'm gonna lie about
うるせ
this.
えないい加減にしてくれよ。バサラさんにとってロックとは何でしょうか。知らねえよそんなの。
お、そんなこと言わないで教えてくださいよ。
わかんねえの？俺
He
の
doesn't
いや
know?
わかんだろ。
No, it's
How
that.
clueless is he?
It's that way of not caring about stuff. That's what he's doing.
いや、素敵なお嬢さん。どうもありがとう。
So close. So close to
リリア
something.
様、これを
なんなのそのメールの山は。
市民からの苦情のメールです。
そんなもの全部マックス宛てに送ってやって。
しかしバトルセブンとは連絡が途絶えたままです。
わかってますそんなことは。
Also, why are they sending us paper communications?
なんだ貴様たちは。やめろ。何をする気だ。
どいてマイケル。いくらあなたの体が熱くてもこの距離で撃たれたら貫通して私も死ぬわ。
I love that breakdown.
何の用かしら。
おとなしくしていろ。俺たちはこのシティオフィスを完全に制圧した。目的は何だ。余計なこと
Good job,
は
Michael.
喋るな。
ずいぶんな勢いね。革命でも起こすつもりなの？
黙ってろ。俺たちはもう貴様のような無能な主張を支持することはできない。
無能な市民に言われたくないわね。
うるせえほざくな。俺たちはシティセブンを救うために立ち上がったんだ。
それはぜひともお願いしたいところだわ。
黙れと言ったはずだ。このおしゃべ
You're
り
on the top floor of a building that's outside in space. Don't just shoot up in the air, you fucking idiot. Also, how many floors do they have? No, I mean the building, which is obviously answering the question right here. I meant the people. Like, did they just run up
あと20分で
70 stories or what?
ご苦労。やるだけやってみましょうか。そうだな。君たちは完全に包囲されている。無駄な抵抗はやめて出てきたまえ。
現在武装したテロリスト集団数十人が
I also feel like this is like stupid engineering.
説得にも応じません。
Why would you build a building that goes outside your own dome?
I don't know.
が人質？
こら、あいつはいかん。
Technically, I think I outrank
建
you.
立てこもっているんだ。
なんだあんた。
ダイヤモンドフォースのガムリン注意だ。詳しい状況が知りたい。
失礼しました。あ、しかし
Didn't even have to show him any proof of ID.
いや、こういう事態は我々の方が手慣れている。それに、私はミリア市長の警護
So
を
did I just see a girl walk in the
特命
corner?
されているんだ。
Yeah, it looked that way.
本当よ。
Are these Pat
エ
Lamore?
リート中のエリートなんだから。
Maybe.
Mecha
わ
police?
かりました。こちらへどうぞ。
I guess you're not going to show us again. It was just like a fist, a big old mechanical
Yeah.
fist in the corner of one screen. Also, she got outside again.
センサーによると職員一般市民はすべて避難しておりますが、市長は最上階の
Yeah,
執
it's
務
like
室で5人の
they
テロリ
built
スト
the
に監
city
禁
and
されてい
then
ます。
didn't have enough for the
最上階
dome.
にエレベーター、階段にもそれぞ
Well,
れ
you
3
see
名
the
ずつ
dome
配
is
備
like
さ
there's
れ
a couple of buildings just
確認近
outside.
づくことがで
Yeah,
きます。
which means that the dome is transparent. It's some energy field, not
一個師団だな。
not physical. Air bubble, perhaps.
I don't know. We've only seen it do like a weird transition night to day
Oh, it's a
hologram.
it's a tranquilizer gun. Okay.
じきに狙撃隊や突撃隊が配置につきます。それまで待った方がよろしくないですか。
大勢で攻め込んだら市長が危ない。私だけで十分。
So this is the Gamlin Die Hard episode.
ミレーヌさんは
Yeah.
ここで待っていてください。大丈夫です。ミディア市長は必ず助け出してみせます。
でも私のママなんだし。
じゃあ私が飲むコーヒーでも入れておいてください。
Okay. That was a bit sexy. Like, make coffee for me. I'll be right back.
I
honey.
feel like it was meant to be like badass. Like, make me a
Yeah, but
coffee,
it-
I'll be back before it's cold.
Yeah, but it came out as sexist. Well, that's interesting.
トラップワイヤー。
Dumb.
プロの
What's
仕
the
業なんだ。
point of... I hope more than...
Interesting.
I hope not more than 2 people go down that
どう
hallway.
した1階で何かが引っかかった模様です。今確認に行かせました。
そうか。もし何かあったらあんたの命はない。
Oh, he's the Centrati.
灰皿だ。
They're all Centrati.
飛んできたぞ。
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not that guy on the right.
油断するな。どこかに潜んでいるかもしれん。こっちだ。
You did say those were tranquilizers, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems very much implied that he just shotgun tranquilizer at them.
ミレーヌさん。
びっくりした。
驚いたのはこっちです。ミレーヌさん、とにかくこっちへ。
Yeah, the brief moments of seeing people, they all seem to be Zentradi.
どうして待っていてくれなかったんですか。
だってコーヒーに砂糖とミルクを入れるかどうか聞きそびれたから。
仕方ないです。
Really?
絶対私から。
Well, I half expected her to pick up one of their guns before she got in the elevator. Yeah, 3 of them Zentradi
Okay.
ears.
Yeah.
ミレーヌさん。
ガムリンさん、どうして最上階まで行かないの？
この階に警備モニター室があるんです。まずそこを叩いておかないと。
Dude, the
So
screams
just-
do nothing.
Yeah, you could just turn it off.
市長を助けに行きましょう。
Or, give Mylene a gun and say, hey, stay here, make sure nobody gets through that door.
助けに来たぞシビル。各隊に次ぐ。これよりサンプルどもの住居エリアを攻撃する。奴らの迎撃隊が現れたら自己の判断で対処しろ。
ダメだ。モニター室の応答がない。
Also, didn't they say that it transported at random?
私の知ったことじ
Like
ゃ
they
ない
didn't know where it went?
動くな。
動くなじゃないわ。私の仕事を邪魔する気？こう見えても忙しいのよ。
うるせえ。ゼントラーディの市長だと思って安心したのが間違いだったぜ。
あんたみたいなゼントラーディが市民にいたなんて
So
残念
maybe
だ
she
ったわ。
courted the Zentradi vote, and this is it. Just blow it up in her face?
Maybe.
バサラさん出撃ですか。決まったら。それではぜひ私たちもご一緒
I don't think I've seen so many Zentradi in the show up until now.
こんな時に敵襲なんて。
いや、かえって好都合です。今の私たちにはこの敵襲はありがたい。はい。
Why did you tell them to turn around? Dude, you had them in the
注
back.
力が3万になっています。
Like, hey!
I don't know, element of surprise.
どうした応答せよ。状況はどうなってる。遅れ。繰り返す。狙撃隊応答せよ。応答せよ。
スピリチアコロニー。
I feel like she doesn't know that many words.
聞かせてやるぜ。本当のファイヤーボンバーのサウンド。来たな。スピリチア以上行動って。シビルを助ける
Oh,
前に
his luau
まずは貴様の
trash.
スピリチアいただくぜ。さあ、いよいよバサラさんが出撃されました。皆さん、彼の活躍に期待しましょう。
チャンスは今しかないわね。
Why'd we build this outside the door? Oh, she's
Oh,
bulletproof.
she's bulletproof. Yeah.
I thought they were going to have her dodge the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's gonna work better.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's the Superman move. What do you do when you
Yeah.
fire your last bullet?
おしべのないことに気がつきますこの地球のカーネーションにそっくりなジャラクシアの花は
あんたは一体何者なの？
というのも
See, I think this should have been the episode titled Fighting Mayor.
Yeah.
Zelia.
気をつけて、そいつは敵よ。
下がって。
無駄よ。こいつには銃は効かないわ。
At least they set that up. We know that people are watching him. What do you see? We lost all of our engineers on Mega Road 1. They went with the original Macross crew.
Boyfriend?
Well, he's the one that set them up, remember?
No, but I think she was talking about Basara, not Gamma.
あいつはこの間の途中退場女。
おうシビル探したぜ俺と一緒に戻ろう
帰れ
シビルそりゃないぜ俺は
帰れ
シビル
None of your bosses like you, Giggle.
シビル分かったぜおとなしく引き上げてやる
Yeah, but I don't think it's.
I feel like he
There
feels
seems to be-
more betrayed by this one.
Yeah, because I think there's a personal connection between the two of them.
Well, yeah, he went behind his other boss's back. Wake this one up.
It's almost as if she can't use her power against them. She's trying, but it's like, nothing comes off.
Maybe it's his belligerent nature? Like, she's able to make people feel angry because they're capable of feeling angry, but the thing that we hate Basara for just happens to actually be a thing, but he's incapable.
コーヒーはブラックでお願いします。
一連の事故、事件に
I will say that-
セントラーディの血筋の者が関わっています。
あのテロリストたちもそうよ。はっきりとじゃないけど、原因もわかりそうな気がします。私もゼントラーディですから。
So there's a connection between them and the Centrati?
Well, no, the feelings of those people. I don't know.
I mean, but-
I was always kind of hoping that they're going to bring up the medications that Bowman had to take. That all the Centrati are dealing with this repressed anger. And, you know, maybe City 7 being separated from Battle 7 means that there's like a supply of Centrati medication not being distributed.
But I don't think that was every Centrati. I think it was just Bowman.
I mean, the problem is that when it happened to Bowman, he was our only point of contact. Plus, it explained everything that happened after Space War 1 with the Centrati, that it wasn't their fault, kind of. It was like a medical condition. And then we just never touched it again. It's not like we spent enough time with any specific Centrati to know.
But after Space War 1, not every Centrati was acting that way.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's plenty of people that don't have problems that most other people do. Like I said, I think the fact is that what you brought up before about the OVAs is that we focused on characters.
Mm-hmm.
So we had time to see that Bowman had that problem. That whole was a gamma wave brain wave thing that signified that he was having these issues. Whereas we have a cast of characters here we don't really spend a lot of time with, and none of them are specifically full-blown Centrati except for Milia, who is apparently one of those that doesn't have the problem.
Oh, I guess now we know what he was doing in the room, or wanted to anyway.
No complaints.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Rex is a full-grown ass woman, so no Mylene type concerns here. But
besides, even in Mylene, we're older. She's going out with gambling, so what's your problem, right? It's like, hey,
yep,
I know it's a love triangle, which is why I find it so dumb, right? It's like,
what a grown man, another grown man, and a grown woman do in a room together. No problem on my.
Maybe she's a groupie.
I don't think so. I think she just infatuated with him ever since the whole I beat your entire gang on a motorcycle when being on a motorcycle is your whole gang's thing. It's not even my thing. It's just a thing I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. The whole Zentradi thing, though. Again, I wanted that to be more of a plot point because it did explain past things. So if you... But then again, they had 30 years of... No. How long ago was it? Macross Plus?
5 years.
You can't
From Macross
scroll
Plus to
wheel on a VLC player that just messes with volume. Dumb me.
From this to Macross Plus is 5 years. From 2040
to 2045. It's been 30 years since SDF Macross. Or 30... No, 20? Anyway, it's been about 30 years. I was about to say that medical technology may have advanced since then, but it's only been 5 years since Bowman, who resurrected from the dead. To be fair, he's got bright green hair. The guy I saw, I think, had like a shade like greenish blue hair. He just had the very same face. Threw me. I forgot for a moment that he died.
This has Droopy, possible callback to Pat Labor, and also callback to Macross Plus. I mean, they used the music before, so there's that.
I mean, to be fair, the callback to Macross Plus is every episode the VF-19 is in. That's why I was thinking, oh, Newman's kind of associated with Macross 7 because he fucking invented the thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I mean, clearly I think that guy was meant to look like Bowman. Like, it's just a write-in. The same way that we had Schumann and Langu dressed as Britai and Kwamzum. But yeah, I mean, the Pat Labor one is just us. You know, it's police that may have a mech. I mean, there's got to be more shows out there with police mechs other than Pat Labor.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, though, it's a good episode. I appreciate Gamlin got to kick some ass. One of the few rare Gamlin wins.
And with a tranquilizer gun, apparently.
And he had to bring Mylene with him. Not intentionally, but he did.
Yeah, he didn't dump her somewhere.
Yeah, so we got to see how badass... she got to see how badass he was.
And she kept up with him.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, except for that one time he had to push her out of the way getting shot, but I mean, that's just, a thing.
Although him calling the guys like, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot you now," that was kind of dumb.
I feel like that was, a shock moment. Like, the bad guy's not going to say hey to us. That would be fucking stupid. So you turn around expecting to be one of your guys. So, surprise, it's not.
I mean, you just should shoot him in the back. They were looking the other way.
Yeah, I think
I
the
mean,
idea is that he made noise coming out of the elevator, so they would have turned anyway.
no, but I think that was after the elevator.
He says
somewhere
hey
else.
coming out of the elevator, and I could have sworn I heard like a foot sound, so either way, I think they would have been turning. He wasn't like, solid snaking his way through the complex.
Either way.
I mean, either way, he was gonna win. It's not like
Yeah.
he could have done anything he wanted. He could have snuck up to them, tapped them on one shoulder, been on the other side. Boom. This was the gambling show. It's not
I
the
mean, no,
Tom Green
gambling is
show.
bad. Gambling is a badass. I mean, he's the one who gets all the kills and everything. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, his competition is actively trying not to kill anybody. It's not even fair to compare the two. The only other point I could think of is the fact that I think it's an untoward thing to chase down a fleeing opponent in a military situation. Yeah, I think it's technically a war crime.
I mean, if you want to capture them, yeah.
It's illegal to take hostage or kidnap. It's illegal to hostage take somebody who is actively no longer a combatant in the fight. Specifically, more so towards people who are injured.
I mean, you can't take them prisoner.
Yeah, you can take them prisoner if they surrender, but if they're actively trying to retreat and no longer a threat, they actively no longer a combatant. I don't know. It's a hazy field. I've done a lot of quoting United Nations statutes and what's it called, World Court statutes due to Gundam Seed because the good guys constantly taking people hostage. It's like, this either paints a dark picture of the world wherein they've made it legal to take hostages in wartime, which I think is actually the implication. It's just a dark world.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, we've gone from miracle worker engineers in SDF Macross to, I don't know, I guess the engineers from Beetlejuice. Well, it's always weird arcs and shit that doesn't
Yeah.
make much sense. Either they built the city and then put the dome wherever they had a room, or it can't be an energy field. The buildings would block it.
Has to be an air shield then somehow? A pressure shield?
That just lets explosions from space pass through it. That
Yeah.
great design flaw. Also, great that our shield, even if it was an energy shield, that we put buildings above that anyway.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And they spent time drawing it, which is my problem. Like,
Yeah. And deliberately had then the room, which is on the top floor, had special hatches that close when people break the windows because they are out, on the other side of the window is space.
like I said, we must have sent all of the miracle workers on Mega Road 1. Like, everybody that was on the SDF Macross just decided to go on the same ship with everybody else. 'Cause why wouldn't you, right? We already know you're the
Earth
best of the
sucks.
best.
Earth sucks. Peace out. Bye.
Well, you're the best of the best, right? We've been serving on the one ship together all this time. Nothing bad has happened to, like, less than 1% of us. And to be fair, the less than 1% of us that something bad happened to, they were off the ship. Right up until Quamzim decides to blow up a big old chunk of the... Which, by the way, was there in Macross Plus, which means they must have fixed it.
Yeah, they probably did.
I mean, they had plenty of time. And my call was absolutely no good, by the way.
Because we have Genius, we have Max, Emilia here, so they were pretty. I mean, they were secondary characters, but still, he literally is a genius,
I guess fair enough, but they are like the main remnants of the entire military. Like, Mega Road 1 seems to have taken every qualified surviving military officer from the end of Space War 1 and just fucked off. Well, I mean, everybody in a command position went with them, right?
Yeah.
Except for Max, who got his own squad at some point, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, also, you would think that there were other officers because we see, or they just bumped up a lot of cadets up. Like, no, now you're a captain.
They
Star Trek
had to
style.
have. Oh, I thought you were going to go Starship
Yeah.
Trooper style. We're the
No.
old men now. Just a bunch of kids. And as I was saying, Michael proven to be of no use. All that jacked muscle, and it's all for nothing. One hit to the head, he gets taken out. Also, I like the, don't stand in front of me. You're not even going to block the bullets. I'll still die.
I mean, it makes sense.
That's just being very aware. I just appreciate it. Because, the common thing is, oh, look, quick, let's hide behind these cardboard boxes. The bullets won't go through them. And they're like acknowledging, you, the character, the bullets will go through.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
No, that's it.
I think this was one of the action episodes done right versus all the action episodes that were just meaningless.
I mean, again, we have the thing where there's a rebellion and there's terrorists, and it's like, oh, I mean, it does pay off the idea that people are getting upset. And while, yes, it seems that the presence of, Sybil is the thing that seems to be triggering it. The fact that these guys took weapons, had plans to take over, it's like, oh, we're going to take over. That takes more than just, I'm just angry, grab gun, go kill, right? It's a little more. So people were thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't. Remember over 10 episodes ago when Milia and Max were sitting on a couch together discussing all the complaints for the military, and she said there's going to be a bunch more coming from the civilian office, too. They were already discussing how everybody was angry at the government.
That's a payoff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
it's
in this own episode itself, there was those giant stacks of letters.
Yeah. It's a good payoff because it mixes both things, right? It isn't just one thing or the other. It's, yes, she was the final instigator, right? But it was something that was already afoot, right? Which is a good mix, right? It happened now because she was there.
We don't know what their demands were, other than your leadership sucks, and we're going to put Macross 7 on the right foot.
It's like
I don't think it was
takeover, but you still had some planning to do.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm just saying it wasn't Civil that was doing it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Civil is just literally the next step in the infiltrators are knocking out busloads of people into comas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think Civil was like another straw on the camel's back. Yeah. Civil just made a bunch of people angry on a corner.
Yeah, but let's say that you were planning this, but you're like, we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it. And if something happens that serves as a trigger, it's like, yes, let's do it. If they all got angry enough to take their plans and their dreams and just try to execute them, then that's what she is. He didn't plan with them.
I will be honest, if I was a part of this, my first concern would be, do you think people are going to think we're racist? We are all Zentradi. Is there like one human in this group? Are we like, whatever you do, when we get outside, do not shout Zentradi power or some shit like that. This is going to have a bad look. We want the people on our side when we take over the government.
Yeah, we need to watch out for the optics, yeah.
Yeah, no one wave a flag with just a green fist. Well, I guess that is everything from this episode then. Once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?